Hello, and welcome back to Otgoth, the podcast where I read all of my old DeviantArt journal entries from the 2010s in order and think about how autistic I used to be and still am. Um, this week we're gonna be starting in 2012. So, April 22nd, 2012. Devious journal entry. As in, I was two paragraphs into this entry when I accidentally X'd out the window, and then all the words were gone, darn it. And it would be really kind of annoying to type the same thing again, so I guess I'll just start where I did before and go in a different direction. Or something. These entries really are quite spur of the moment. I always plan what I'm aiming to say, then forget all of it and type totally random crap, going from Facebook to newborn baby sisters to how stupid MapQuest is in one entry. Actually, I never did write about how I was looking up directions to my old school and ended up with directions to Hong Kong. But anyway, I don't think anyone really would care about that. It's almost kind of sad, really. Hey, I almost forgot about entry attempt numero uno, but I was trying to think of nations that had been America's allies in the past. I don't know why. I'm taking US history now, which is kinda annoying, switching from world history, but oh well. And I was only able to think of a few because I'd been watching Hitalia a few minutes before. So I guess I'm not really that intelligent, and it's a good thing that I was watching, or something. I think that the most moronic thing I've ever had to do, this week anyway, is family prayer time, which in and of itself isn't that bad. I'm okay with the prayer, just not the part where we get chastised for not cleaning our rooms well enough, only thinking of ourselves, leaving the toilet seat up, which was obviously not my fault, and a whole bunch of other crap. And later we get to go around in a circle and state the one thing we'd like to change in our lives. Fun, right? And apparently, I'd like to have better grades isn't valid, for me, anyway. I don't get what's so wrong with wanting more than an A minus, but whatever. I actually kind of hate the word whatever, but I still use it. Mainly because I can't think of another word that gets my thought process across, even if it does sound rather ugly to the ears. I fed my new sister. See previous entry for any crap about that you want to know, even if I only wrote a little and then started going off topic. In our car yesterday. It was actually quite awkward, and it didn't really help when the baby vomited on her bib and part of my hand. My mom said that I hadn't done anything wrong, babies didn't have a reflex or something to tell them to stop consuming when full, but I still kinda think that I did it wrong. My mom gave me napkins from Dunkin' Donuts, in case you would ever care, which I doubt, and I used that to clean her off, and my hand. There was lipstick on one of the napkins. Not mine, obviously, kind of. Had a really weird dream last night. I slept about 12 hours, and when I woke up, my sister was going on about how a car had crashed a bunch of times on our road and flipped over onto someone's lawn. Or something. IDK. Crap. Gotta go, so bye. Awkward. Oof. The years of random and awkward. Like, there are a lot of things about, like, the 2010s and the 2000s where I'm like, this is definitely going to feel nostalgic for me, or maybe it already does in 2025, but calling things random and awkward and, like, dumb and whatever else, that hasn't come back for me yet. So, yeah. May 2nd, 2012. I don't know how, but I ended up in Slytherin on Pottermore. I was rather shocked. Not that I don't consider myself Slytherin-y, but I thought my answers were more inclined towards Ravenclaw, like mine usually are. And then just before the result came, I wondered if maybe I'd be in Hufflepuff. I didn't consider Gryffindor at all. I was kind of hoping for Ravenclaw, though. And then I got Slytherin. The welcome message was pretty epic, though. The prefect chick basically called all the Ravenclaws snooty geeks, the Hufflepuffs weird, and the Gryffindors like us, but different. Well then. If I end this now, it'll be my record shortest entry, so I might as well go back on Pottermore now and update this later. Maybe. P.S. If anyone insults Slytherin, they shall die. Kidding. Anyone else on Pottermore, by the way? Well, obviously I need to go see if this quiz is still online so that I can take it now and see if I'm still a Slytherin, so I will be back in a moment. Okay, so I kind of thought I'd get Slytherin again, but I actually got Ravenclaw. So I don't know what to make of that, but the text is you probably know that some of Ravenclaw's most renowned members include Gilderoy Lockhart and Luna Lovegood, who are cool, some of them. But did you know Ravenclaw's Grey Lady is the least talkative house ghost in Hogwarts, or that Ravenclaw's common room boasts the most stunning views of the castle grounds? Okay, yeah, that's kind of a mood. Like nonverbal ghost and good views and lots of books. I can dig it, though I just quit grad school, so part of me's like, I don't want to be in Ravenclaw, but that's okay. Plus, this quiz had like 12 questions, and I don't know how much, like, the questions kind of sucked. Like, they didn't suck, but I think in terms of like accurately guessing someone's house, like, I would have asked different questions. So, anyway, I guess I'm a Ravenclaw, but I don't really identify as one. We'll see what happens in like 10 years. Anyway, May 12th, 2012. Poetry or prose? Or whatever it should be called. In my efforts to think of an idea for my Odyssey project, we're allowed to do whatever we want, but I'm clueless, you see. I've written a few hundred words from the point of view of Homer in somewhat of a poetic diary form, so this entry isn't a real entry, but I'll paste the finished poem from the beginning here, so someone or anyone can read it and tell me if it worked better in poetic or diary style. The whole idea is that Homer is this old guy whom everyone calls the town fool, and before he wrote the Iliad and Odyssey, he was a really bad singer that everyone threw crap at. And then this guy called Demetrius, I made him up, haha, saves him and tells him to try speaking his words of the Trojan War and all that. So they become friends, and the diary explores how Homer got his ideas for writing the Odyssey. And all the time he's writing this, he's saying how much of a hero Demetrius is, helping him in being his scribe, since he can't write his own poetry. Since he can't write his poetry, only speak it. Though he can write, obviously. Okay. Yet Homer will eventually find that he too is a hero, so yay for that. I just made most of that up on the spot. I love typing. Anyhow, I'll go finish up what I started on it, or at least enough, and if you want to, please read and offer an opinion. I don't know if I actually included the thing in here. I almost did a comic for the Odyssey, but you see, I'm not at the right level yet, and I tried. Heck, the first website I looked up for a how to went on about how everyone wants to do a comic, so if you think you're going to be great at it, then realize that you're lying. It was very positive. Oof. But I also realized that no matter how many classes a day I draw in, most of them, if not all, I'll always be better at writing, even if I do suck at writing. According to my dad, who's into constructive criticism, I'm a pretty decent artist, but the girls I draw have stupid expressions, apparently. When I drew a sad girl, he looked at it and said she looked like a dumb bitch who didn't know crap, and a great writer. Oh, that goes back to I did a lot of like hyphens and then like coming back to a line later, so according to my dad, who's into constructive criticism, I'm a pretty decent artist and a great writer. He is a parent, though. He's better than Mom, who glances at my stuff and just says that it's really nice, which really helps. I'd rather be insulted than complimented when it comes to both writing and drawing. I don't know if that's still true of me, but oh, darn it. I need to shut up and get back to Homer. Be back later, and hopefully by then there will be words below these. Dot dot dot. Right there. Dot dot dot. Crap, I'm making him sound like a pedophile. Why is the scribe a strong young man who protects him from the evil townspeople? I have to fix that, if I get to it anyway. You know what? I'll just post it as a deviation, since as my camera cord is missing, I bet my brother stole it. I haven't posted any in forever. I've changed, yet I can't post. Technology sucks, but I still have to love it. So if you just skipped to the bottom and wondered where the heck the poem is, look somewhere else. It's not here. Note, I really am in the writing mood this week, actually. I wrote my first Naruto fanfic, and then there's a link. Of pure boredom and a ridiculous craving for words. and now I'm writing another lengthy journal entry when I only meant to write a few sentences. I consume blank space wherever I find it and insert words where they fit, which actually sounds mildly poetic. Note 2. When did fanfiction.net get a new review button? It looks so cool. Awesome. So for reference, freshman year at my second high school that I went to, we had to do a project after we read the Odyssey. And I didn't read the last like 3 or 4 chapters, but I wrote this long ass story. I don't know why I said I thought he sounded like a pedophile. Like, I might have just accidentally made him gay before I realized that I myself was a bit gay. But I don't know. So, that's something. It is kind of interesting to see what I did and didn't say about my family during this period. Like, this was when I moved to schools and was having a really tough time at school. Like, my social anxiety was so bad that I just would go days without talking to anyone, and I stopped eating lunch, and wasn't a great time. And then I kind of just wrote about my Odyssey project for English class, which I guess is kind of relatable, but I don't know. It's interesting because I did talk about some family stuff, like not liking prayer time, but I don't know if like this journal is gonna get super into what actually happens, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just coping. Maybe I just didn't want to talk about it or share it online, but I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that as I keep reading. May 18th, 2012. Finished. Victory! I just spent the last, well, it's already 9, and when I started working on the drawing, it was a little after 7, so I guess I can just say that it took a little while. Haha. I really do want to post it as soon as I can find my stupid USB cord. Should I just leave it at that or keep writing? I don't have much time. I might as well go on though while I'm here. Tomorrow, one of my friends in my Mandarin class is having her last day of school, since she's doing her senior project. So, since we both really like Naruto, she's read the whole series. I'm still on volume 37, though. I decided to draw her a picture of Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. It took me forever to get the faces right, and a lot of looking back in the books and at other drawings, but I think that it's pretty decent now, as opposed to the horror that it was about an hour ago. It's really kind of scary looking at my halfway decent stuff now, that back in September my stick people looked bad. Actually, that's how I started out drawing stick people of my classmates during class, lol. And now I'm not horrible. So now it almost kind of annoys me when people say that they could never draw, because neither could I. I'm rather tempted to say, can I, actually, since drawing something that I'm actually fond of apparently takes at least 2 hours to create. LOL. I feel as if I don't try and change somehow by getting better at drawing or writing or studying, there's not really a difference between the weeks. I could close my eyes and be in Friday 3 weeks ago and feel it there, but then I can look in my completely overstuffed folder and see that there is a difference, which is really rather strange, actually. I think that if you're going to go to the same place every day for a while, time ceases to exist, sort of. Because if you decide not to do something one day, the next is just another chance and another. But when you have to leave, then time starts moving again, and quickly. When I hear people say that the week's moving by so fast or so slowly, I wonder what it really is. Is time fast, or is it slow? Time really is a strange concept. But I don't really, so to say, believe that it's really there. It's more of the scenery that separates things. I kinda wanna fix things on my drawing, which is really rather illogical, and I'll probably totally mess it up and then be screwed and really mad at myself, so I'll just take a picture of it before I potentially kill it, I guess. If anyone's actually bothered to read this, thank you. In Mandarin, shi. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It has a tone in the first word, but I can't remember which of the 4 it is, so whatever. Heck, I probably spelled it wrong too. You might want to Google that before you try and say it. It's pronounced Shay, though. I know that. Anyway, see ya. I probably shouldn't botch that up with more Chinese, so yeah, bye. Actually, we had a party in Mandarin class today. Since it was right before lunch, I couldn't even bring myself to eat after all of that fried rice and chicken and Chinese chips. and a Pepsi. We watched Mulan, too, in Chinese. We were all excited when we recognized the word apple being said. LOL. I think this is just partly why whenever I hear people say that they can't draw or that like they could never learn to draw or they're not naturally talented, I guess I just feel some type of way because I also just spent years like dissing on my own art and thinking, oh, my friends were better than me and like they were more practiced and they had cleaner art or whatever, but like I don't know, I found myself enjoying drawing more when I tried to let go of that and just like draw what I liked versus trying to get better. And now there's still things that I like, quote unquote, can't draw or haven't practiced, but like that's fine. I can just draw pretty boy portraits all day and like I don't need to draw everything. Like I can just draw what I like. Um but yeah, honestly, like anyone can learn. Just practice. It's like running or sports or whatever. Like I guess everyone can't do everything, but like a lot more people can than think they can. So that's my 2 cents there. May 22nd, 2012. I'd forgotten until now that Harry Houdini was raised in my own hometown. I just saw that while working on my history project. You know, that's the kind of thing that people should know Wisconsin for, not for murderers like Jeffrey Dahmer or cheese either. Really. Just felt like saying that. Looking up more stuff for my 1920s project, which was for history class. The strangest things come up when you look for certain things. It's kind of crazy how a person can go from 1920s fads to websites dedicated to the swastika. Actually, it's very crazy. Oh, geez. Okay. I guess I narrowly possibly avoided ending up on like the alt right internet as a teenager, but I think I just skipped right past it and went back to DeviantArt, so good on that person. But yep, yep. May 30th, 2012. Ha, spell check. Spell check's being rather morbid today. According to my computer, I should have said in my story for English that the hungry flames and I consumed my parents. Well, that's nice. June 18th, 2012. Featuring. I clicked on a random person's profile, as I tend to do sometimes when bored, lol, and found this. It looked so fun. Rules. For each of the 21st people answering this journal, I will put their avatar and the 3 deviations I like most from their gallery on the list. 2. If you answer, you have to do the same in your journal, putting the tagger on the first place. The idea of this is not to get a free feature, it is to spread art around for everyone. And there were 2 people instead of 20 who answered. But I still remember them. One of them was one of my classmates, and it is good art. It's great to see, and I hope they're doing well. June 21st. Yeah, I got kinda bored. Found this on a journal, and since I'm too lazy from marching band practice to do anything but sit down by the computer, decided to do it, lol. Maybe I'll go look for more quizzes. So this is another quiz where I put X's next to things, and oh no. Oh no. I just read ahead. But I'll just read the stuff that I put X's next to. You like to be content in everything. When a person confesses his or her love to you and you don't like him or her, you start feeling very tense and you don't know what to say. You love candies or any type of caramel. You sleep with a doll, teddy bear, or pillow in your hand. You're usually shy with the opposite sex. You like romantic, funny anime. Between L or light cosplay, you prefer L. I don't know if that's Death Note? You are. Oh, it is. It must be. Okay. You are innocent and a little clumsy. You like plushies. Between light blue and blue, you prefer light blue. You hate Paris Hilton because she is an idiot. Oof. You have been lost in a shopping center, parking lot, or cinema. You have called the mistaken number twice or more. You cried with Pocahontas's ending. You call you call your pets with cute names. You believe that yaoi is the best. Some people scare you. Sometimes you start looking at the clouds and you get lost in space. When a person of your same sex gets angry with you, you're on the defensive. You have cried for more than one movie or TV series. You smile with no reason. You usually are very positive. When there's a rainbow, you run out to see it. You usually don't understand what your parents say. So, the scores greater than 30, you would be a super uke. 21 to 30, an uke. 20, both. 10 to 19, seme. Less than 10, super seme. And I ended up with 24, uke. I'm gonna quick look up seme and uke again just so that I can define those correctly. So from quick googling it and just remembering it, I totally forgot these were terms. But they're pretty much terms for top and bottom in yaoi or yaoi, however you pronounce it. And the seme is the top, uke is the bottom. And indeed, we'll have to take this quiz again too, and we'll see. But let's be real, I'm gonna be an uke. Okay, so this is a wild upset, y'all. Apparently, I'm not a super seme, but I did get a 14 instead of a 24, and I got seme. So I guess I'm a top now, y'all. It's as of this quiz, I am now a top. So I'll have to inform my boyfriend and my partner. There's probably like an essay to be written or something on the fact that I was actively going through family trauma, and I decided that yaoi was how I was gonna cope, like just drawing it and like reading it online and talking about it with friends. Like I don't know, it's there's something there. Anyway, June 26th. Randomosity, because I guess I was never random in my journals before this. LOL. Watching Ranma 1/2 with my little sister on this nice DVD set I borrowed from the library. When I first put it in, it was in Japanese. I couldn't find the remote for a while, and then it needed batteries. But now we have subtitles, so it's all good. So much crazy stuff has happened in this apartment complex in the last week. It's rather funny, actually. Last night, Last night my aunt took us out to see a movie, and we had a hard time getting back because of construction. We came in the wrong entrance, and instead of turning back to the next one, my sister tells my aunt that it'd be best to simply cut across the lawn of one of the apartments, in our car. And she does. The hilarious part was that there was this dude sitting right in the edge of the lawn of his patio, sipping from a cup of beer. He just gave us this what the fuck type look and then went back to drinking. Then we end up turning around again anyway, and the guy just looks up for a second time before looking away. Typing it out, it sounds even more random. I was drawing outside of the pool last week, and some random boy appeared on the other side of the fence. He asked me to hold his phone and Mountain Dew while he jumped over the fence, because he apparently forgot his key to get into the pool. I mean, he didn't look creepy, so I just did what he said and gave him his stuff back. When my dad and I left the pool, the same guy was out in front talking to the police. All we heard was the cop saying, "It's time to put your big boy pants on now, Jeremy." My family and I were quoting the cop every 10 minutes and cracking up. Ha ha. Anyway, making dinner now, so I'm off for now. See ya. Ha, that makes this sound like a letter. Funny how different DeviantArt journals are than diaries. They're almost addressed to other people here. I guess they are. LOL. July 9th. Hi, people. I haven't written a journal entry in a while, and I feel very awkward doing so at the moment. I guess I've forgotten what it was like. I don't know. I could probably think of 100 things to say, but none of them would be really relevant or not random. So I'm just gonna say that I've decided to amp up my drawing practice by deciding, well, maybe deciding, to do one of those 100 themes challenges before summer ends. Or before the year ends. Mainly because I want to do more sketching and practicing than just doing drawings and throwing out anything that's imperfect. All the stuff I've posted on here is only what I call worthy of deviant arts, lol. I want to post more randomness and sketches that I've done just for fun, so maybe a challenge will help. Or inspire. Something. Links here if anyone really cares. In other news that you won't care about, I got back from a 10-day marching band tour at 1 this morning. The Drum Corps International show was epic that we performed for an exhibition the other night. I shouted, "You guys rock," to the Madison Scouts as they marched out, and one or two looked my way and smiled. I felt dull giddy for the rest of the night. Haha. Marching is so cool. Oh, and I found my camera and my dad's keys, but that's another story. Haha. See you later. Kinda. July 21st. Okay then. Reading the manga previewing the movie Naruto Road to Ninja. I'm not sure whether to be disturbed or not. Guess I should keep reading. That was actually rather entertaining. Now I just have to read the last 40 chapters of Naruto to finally catch up. Sorry for the random entry, by the way. July 25th. Somebody read this comic. There's a link to it, and then it just says, "It's so epic." Okay, this comic, now that I've clicked on it, is long as hell, but it's called The Ultimate Ninja Showdown of Death, and I am too lazy to read this many words, but it looks pretty wild. So, if you want to look it up, that's what it's called. Okay, so just looking ahead at this. Oof. August 5th. I love YouTube sometimes. There's a link and then it says, "Kristen Stewart is a trampire, LOL. So, yeah, 3 cheers for just learned sexism as a teenager. Like, great. So I clicked on it, and the link is to a YouTube video from the Conan O'Brien show, and it's titled, "Will Ferrell is All Busted Up Over Twilight's Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson." It's from 12 years ago, and apparently the star of the new movie, The Campaign, can't stop crying over the breakup of Twilight stars Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. So, yep, that was something. I guess I don't know if I have much to say about. I'll think of something maybe, but I guess it's just interesting to look at the moments where I am kind of bigoted or whatever other word you want to use in these entries. Like, I don't know. I guess it makes me wonder if people like are still being raised this way, like to just think of certain women as tramps, to think of racist jokes as funny and stuff like that. Like, I guess I'm sure it's still a thing, but I'm just gonna hope that it's less of a thing than it was for me, like in the 2000s, 2010s. Like, I can only hope that things are at least getting a little better year by year, and that we're not just teaching kids to be kind of bigoted assholes as they grow up, and then hopefully they'll unlearn it when they get to college or when they graduate and kind of go out into the world and get away from their parents. But yeah, one can only hope. I'm just gonna do one more from August 27th. Hi, people. How are you guys today? Awkward silence. I guess I'll just edit this entry throughout the day since I'll be working on my summer reading anyway. Yeah, I haven't started. So, yeah. I found this sweet collection of clay stuff from the Mario games. I almost typed Naruto lol. Awkward. Link. I mean, I thought it was pretty awesome. It is. I'm gonna go start my homework now. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna think about these entries from this episode and the last couple ones, and maybe the next episode or one of the future ones will just be like all reflection, and I'll maybe like draft some ideas ahead of time so I'm not going totally off the cuff. But look forward to that and to me getting into comic books next time on Okgoth, and thank you for listening.